Getting closer and closer to the lottery. Tonight was one of those nights where it wasn't great, but there's a few things to talk about, and then a look back at the tanking era and what comes next. This is the Hoops Nerd Show. All right, guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And if you're on Twitch, make sure you follow. If you're on the podcast, make sure that you give a 5-star review. I would really appreciate it. All right, so the Utah Jazz got smoked by the Phoenix Suns, and for a couple reasons. One, the Jazz are fine with it because they are not trying to win these games. But Utah has been, this is one of the, it's kind of amazing how few times the Jazz have actually been kind of like blown out start to finish. Yes, they've had double-digit losses multiple times in the year, but many of those double-digit losses were close games through at least 2 to 3 quarters. This one, Utah just got smoked. And really, it just kind of comes down to the fact that Utah was on the back end of a back-to-back and went up against a Phoenix Suns team whose calling card is just like scrap and claw and play their hearts out. And, you give credit to the Phoenix Suns who, have a very distinct style now, which is just like play hard on defense and shoot lots of threes. They shot in this one 53 threes compared to Utah's 23. That is a 33-point attempt difference. Pretty wild. They have Jalen Green playing now, which was kind of fun to watch. He had a great game for them, 31 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists on good percentages. And also Devin Booker, who had, 26 points and 8 assists. We all know, overall what Devin Booker is capable of. I have to say, I was excited because Common Malawach got to play. I don't know why he doesn't play more. Maybe it's because they were playing against this Utah Jazz tanking team, but he got just under 20 minutes. And look at that, 12 points, 9 rebounds, 2 blocks. And he was honestly solid in the minutes I watched. I am big on seeing if there's a way to get Common Malawach to the Jazz. Obviously, very, very unlikely, but some of us can dream, right? Some of us can dream. And we see lots of clips from the Suns of Rasheer Fleming. His size and capability is worth watching. There's some pieces on this Suns team, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of how they go and how well they do. When you look at the playoff picture, let's see. Look at that playoff picture. It looks like the Suns are kind of locked into that 7 seed for the most part. Yeah, unless they. Looks like, let's see. To overtake the Rockets, they have a 3-game. There's a 3-game lead there. Very unlikely, but you never know. We'll see. Definitely a team that I would be surprised if they don't kind of come out of the play-in. Warriors have Steph Curry coming out soon, so we'll see if that makes them any better. The Warriors are terrible though, and then you've got the what is it? The Trailblazers. Still Malawaching, you bet, my OG Jazz Forge. When there's an agenda, we stick to that agenda. And I love Malawach. And I just, even watching tonight, I was like, why is he not playing more? He's huge. He defends the rim. I mean, 2 blocks in 19 minutes. That's like a 3.5, 4 block per 36 minute. I don't know. And he can stretch the floor. I'm a big Malawach fan. And I don't know. But anyways, they're obviously missing Dylan Brooks, who's out with a broken, I can't remember what it was, hand or foot. I can't remember, but he's out with injury. And he's been a big part of what they do. Not much else to say about the Suns. For Utah, like we said, they got dominated. This Jazz team came in. It's a back end of a back-to-back. This is the hardest type of back end of a back-to-back because you're on the road. You're going from Denver to Phoenix. Like we said, and I said it enough, but back end of a back-to-back, BEOOT. O-A-B-B. B-B, O-A-B-B. I don't know. B-B-B-B. But anyways, those are the hardest games. You're going to be exhausted. I mean, if you've ever been traveling for work and you have to like go to these, like I've been to conferences and I just get exhausted on like day 3 of a work conference where I'm sitting in a hotel. That doesn't include me like getting on a plane 3 out of 4 days in a week. You know, it can be exhausting, and I didn't have to play a basketball game. These guys are playing high level basketball, and so you know tonight is a little bit of a wash. Next year, Utah's gonna. Sometimes when I watch these games, tonight was the first game where I'm like, okay, this is a game where even when Utah next year, when we know they're going to be really good, would probably drop a game or two like this just because of the legs being tired. But I will say this whole season has just gotten me so excited for next year because of how good Utah's going to be. The NBA has no idea what Utah's going to be next year. Like, let's say the Jazz don't even win the lottery. Let's say they lost the pick. Let's say it's because Utah has like a 99.3% chance of keeping their pick if they're in the 5th spot. Extremely likely that they keep their pick. It's like the floor kind of feels like the 7, at least based off of all the tank sims we've done. Like 7 is kind of the floor, it feels like. But I'm losing my train of thought here. But even if the Jazz like got jumped by 4 teams and lost their pick, they're still going to be fantastic next year with all the players on the team. And they're going to just add another top level prospect. Like we're seeing guys like Keaton Wagler. Let's see. Like Wagler tonight for Illinois was amazing. And look, he's going 7. Utah is going to get someone good. I really feel like 7 is the floor. And you've got a chance at Michael Brown, Keaton Wagler. What is it? You guys know that I'm a big fan of Nate Ament, and he might be terrible, but I like him. And then Braden Burries is a guy that people really like. I'm not super big on these smaller players, you know. At least Keaton Wagler's 6'6", and then you get some size. But we'll see. I need to watch some Braden Burries film, I guess. He's just one of those guys that scraps and plays hard, but he's, 6'3", 6'4". At a certain point, we need size, and that's going to be the calling card of this Jazz team is just size. And so I kind of feel like for me, I don't know why Michael Brown sometimes it's just like recency bias. Michael Brown got injured. He has like a back thing. So he's 6'5". He doesn't play in the tournament and everyone forgets about him. The guy is great. I'm telling you guys, go watch the Michael Brown film. Go watch it. It's great. And I have had a little bit of a hint that the Jazz like him. So, anyways, go watch the Michael Brown film. But, Utah's going to come out, like, let's say they're at 7. You're going to probably have a chance at Michael. You're going to have a chance to take a cuff if you really want him. My favorite thing would be Darren Peterson falling because a bunch of dumb GMs pass on him for fear. That would be just amazing. Could you imagine if something like that happened? If like, there's no way he falls. Peterson's talent is just too off the charts. But man, I would love that. I want Peterson or DeBonsa so bad. Caleb Wilson so bad. Oh my gosh. The 2 guys that are being forgotten right now because they didn't play in the tournament for injury is Wilson and Michael Brown. And I just don't sleep on Brown and Wilson. They are awesome. And Ament, guess what? By the way, yesterday Ament, Jazz Forge, speaking of can I get an amen, had a really nice game for Tennessee. And all the bozo box score burglars on Twitter didn't say a word. In fact, I'm pulling this up. Nate Ament basketball reference. Let's pull him up. So anyways, 25-26 game log. Yeah, so he had a bad game against, what was it? Miami. Just a bad game. He played badly. Once in a while, players will have a thing called a bad game. But then he goes up against Tennessee, not quite as good either, but then against Iowa State, so tougher opponents. He goes 6 for 10 from the field, 3 for 4 from 3. What is it? 18 points. He had 16 points in this one, actually. How many times did he go to the line? Got to the line 8 times. Great sign. I need to watch the film. I haven't been able to watch like any basketball, any March Madness, like any. I honestly haven't. But when he has a good game, guess who doesn't say a word? The freaking Burries Brigade. Everyone's just all in on 6'2" guards. And I've done this before and it's just not worked out. We forget all the, everyone wants to say, oh, it's the next Steph Curry or the next Trae Young. They don't talk about how it's the next, washout small guard, like all of them. You just can't keep them on the floor. I don't care how hard they play. It drives me crazy. I think Ament is a player worth taking because you take Ament knowing that it's going to take time, Jazz Forge. Like, I kind of feel like that. Like, if Utah, falls to 8, I think Ament is, the right pick. Because 6'10", can shoot it, handle, passes the ball, plays hard on defense, and you can't teach 6'10". He's not an explosive athlete, but there are guys I honestly think a comp to him, his kind of upside is Jalen Johnson, who's like an all NBA guy on the Atlanta Hawks, because he does a little bit of everything and he can shoot it. And I don't know. I find it interesting that people just have their biases, Like, for example, Walter Clayton Jr. Is anyone missing Walter Clayton Jr.? Is anyone, going oh, my gosh. And I think Clayton hit a 3 to win the game today. But, Walter Clayton's is not very big. And that becomes a defensive liability when you're trying to win playoff games, not beating the Chicago Bulls, who are not trying to win games right now, right? So, I don't know. I've done this where you see Walter Clayton Jr. and you're just like, great, he can play, but he gets blocked whenever he's guarded by anyone 6'5" and above. So it is what it is. Ace Bailey went 0 for 9 to start. Walter did have great hair. He did. Ace Bailey 5 for 15. Nice to see him kind of have a late surge and got better. He was 0 for 9 to start the game. So to end 5 for 15, pretty awesome. 1 for 3 from 3, 2 for 3 from the free throw line. You could tell he had it's kind of wild that he ended up with these stats though. 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks. That one block, let's see if it's on here. Man, what's with the NBA not having their video up lately? Adam Silver's ruining the NBA. But anyways, impressive that he just kind of turned it around, because he was playing terrible, and you could tell his legs were just gone. Same with Cody Williams, who had just no legs for shooting, obviously. 0 for 9, scored 0 points. This was a forgettable one for him, but he still had 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. But rough night for Cody Williams, who's obviously been the kind of the main guy of this team since trade deadline or a little after trade deadline. And, being that focal point of the offense, playing all these minutes back to back. This is a good learning tool and learning lesson for Bailey and Williams, just to let them know the level of exhaustion you're going to hit. It's game 75. And you are leading the way on a back end of a back-to-back in Phoenix against a Phoenix team that plays very hard, knows you're tired, and so is trying to run you out of the gym. And that's what they did. And so it's just a good learning experience for them on how tough you have to be and how fit you have to be. Great. I put Kyle Filipowski on the cover on the thumbnail. What? Sorry. I wanted to give Filipowski a lot of props, because one thing is he's been very consistent lately, And on a night when Bailey and Williams were really struggling, Filipowski was really good. 10 for 14 from the field, and this is against a good Phoenix Suns team. He was only a minus 12 in a Jazz blowout. What did the score end up being? 134 to 109. So really nice stuff from Filipowski. 10 for 14 from the field is just great. 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Good reminder that Filipowski can also continue to improve and just shows value. He's just a baller. He knows how to play. I feel like he's kind of found his groove a little bit, and he is just, a really solid pick for a player the Jazz got in the second round. It's easy to forget that they got him in the second round. It's pretty wild. So anyways, nice stuff from Filipowski, who's a solid, in my opinion, a backup big. I don't think next year he's going to get a ton of minutes. He's going to be great for depth, though, on maybe nights when maybe Lauri Markkanen is out or Jaren Jackson's out. You'll have Filipowski come off the bench, basically, and who knows, maybe start. He started this year when Utah did pretty well to start, and it was interesting. I don't know if he'll start next year. No, obviously he will not. The question for Filipowski is, does he get bench minutes, or who do those bench minutes go to? It'll be with this Jazz roster. In fact, just looking at the roster, in fact, who's on the Jazz? You just got to ask yourself, is he getting minutes over someone like Kevin Love? I don't even know if Kevin Love's going to be on the team. But yeah, Utah will be an interesting team to watch come this offseason and just who they draft. But, I could see a world where Filipowski's coming off the bench as kind of a backup 4. It's going to be a little tough because Utah is going to be able to stagger the minutes of Markkanen and Jaren Jackson, because Kessler is going to be on the Jazz next year at center, and then they'll just rotate where, you'll have either Filipowski or not Filipowski, either Markkanen or Jaren Jackson basically playing the power forward as they kind of rotate guys in. And then as needed, they can rotate in Filipowski. But when you have a backup center for Utah, like Yusuf Nurkic coming off the bench, it's going to be interesting to see. So I don't know. But Filipowski, it's nice to see him play really well. He deserves a ton of props and credit for how well he played. And next year, I think he's going to be more depth piece, come in when there's a need to fill some minutes from injury and stuff like that. But that's nice to have. Utah can bring in Filipowski and not lose much of a step with him off the bench. We got to give credit to Sensabaugh, too. He's finding a lot of consistency as well tonight. 52% from the field, 40% from 3, 21 total field goal attempts, most on the Jazz for 26 points. And he's finding ways to score every single night. And Sensabaugh, I've been pretty down on Sensabaugh for a lot of the year this year because the shooting was just bad. But lately it's been very solid. And I think just him proving that he can go in and score night after night and consistently put up these numbers is a really good sign. We got to remember that consistency is a real talent. Most of these guys can have big time nights, but can you have solid nights every night? Every night you're going to put up numbers. And Sensabaugh's kind of doing that, which is nice to see. Not perfect. Probably some defensive liabilities there tonight. Let's see. Just 1 turnover, so that's really good. So nice to see him kind of improve on that. So we'll see. He's a very nice scorer that is showing that he can do a little bit more. 2 rebounds, 2 assists. Not too bad. So you'll take it. Sensabaugh as a 6th man is a nice player. And I'm sure Utah would love for him to move the ball a little better. I wonder if there's a little element of Utah probably hoped that he would be a little bit more of a facilitator. Because, Collier is going to be on this team next year. I don't know if the Jazz love Collier or not. It's interesting. They obviously like him. But there's some deficiencies there with Collier that are just kind of hard to overlook. And, Collier could just get better. And there's times when Collier is fantastic, and then there's times where Collier is a real liability. So we shall see. But Sensabaugh, you know what he is, you know what he can do, and there's value in that. And he does it consistently, like Filipowski. Sometimes coaches just like to know what they get from a player when they know, like, hey, Filipowski and Sensabaugh, probably not the best defensive players. They're not. In fact, you could argue they're probably pretty bad. But what they do is bring offense and the ability to make an offense run really well. If they're your fourth and fifth best offensive players on the floor, then you're in good shape, right? If you've got like Markkanen and Bailey, Bailey, who will be better next year, Keontae George, whoever they draft in this draft, hopefully it's Peterson or DeBonsa, or Wilson. Oh my gosh, guys, the one that gets me so excited is Wilson. There's like, honestly, if Utah wins this lottery, and this is just me tired and just speaking the truth that it keeps nagging at me. But if Utah wins the lottery, I have a hard time. I mean, it may be only 1 year of Markkanen, because Utah will have so many contracts, and maybe they're fine with it, but let's say they get DeBonsa and he's just an absolute superstar. And let's say Bailey takes a leap and Keontae George takes another step, which is crazy to think about. And then you've got like Jaren Jackson and Walker Kessler. The contract for Walker Kessler is going to tell a lot. I think one of the reasons why the Kessler contract is scary is because it can dictate a little bit what happens with Markkanen later. They don't have to trade Markkanen, and they probably won't. But there may be a situation where you've got to be comfortable sitting Markkanen. Well, not sitting Markkanen, but having Markkanen come off the bench as a sixth man. Because if Bailey takes a leap, guys, we're seeing some really crazy stuff from Bailey. Keontae George is looking like a potential just game changer offensively and plays pretty well defensively. We know what Jaren Jackson can do, and the value that Jaren Jackson brings as opposed to Markkanen is the defense. And then we know what Walker Kessler is a defensive anchor at the rim, a rim roller on offense, and if he can shoot the three like we saw in those 3 games and pass the ball like he did, you put DeBonsa on this team, that is like length and two-way play at every position. Maybe outside of Key a little bit, but Key's been playing pretty good defensively. I don't know. You may decide that, Bailey coming off the bench might not be the best idea. I don't know. Next year is going to be so fascinating. And this lottery, guys, which I believe is May 10th, how far away is that? We got like 6 weeks. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to see what happens if we win this lottery. You bring Caleb Wilson, who really is like a poor man's KG. He's so athletic. Like, I was listening to Bill Simmons talk about it, and it's true. He's not really... Like, there's an element of Giannis to Caleb Wilson where he's just a force in terms of just length, size, and athleticism. He's just a force. And that's the type of guy, when his shooting comes around, because it's already getting better. I mean, honestly, it's not like it's been bad. It's just he's just going to be a player that's going to consistently need to add more shooting capability. But when he does, I mean, he plays the 3-4. You put him next to Jaren Jackson with Walker Kessler, with Ace Bailey, what we're seeing him do defensively, that is nasty stuff. I mean, that is just... And he's got a killer mentality. I just can't tell you how much I love Caleb Wilson, and I want him on the Jazz so bad. Yeah, I think you could argue he's up there with Peterson and DeBonsa, in my opinion. I would take him 3. I would take him over Cam Boozer. Sorry. If the Jazz end up with Cam Boozer, I'm really happy too, by the way, because I think he's going to be really good. But then that brings other questions, like Cam Boozer has to be a power forward. and he'll come off the bench that first year. But what if Boozer is like incredible? I don't know. But I think personally, I'd take Wilson over Boozer. Peterson and DeBonsa to me are gonna be a decision you make after you have workouts, after you go to pro days, after you see measurements at the combine, get those medicals. Which the one good thing Adam Silver's ever done in his stupid commissioner era is that teams get those medicals. I believe. I think it's required. And those Darren Peterson medicals are probably just incredibly important because of all the stuff that was going on with him this year. Peterson's just so dang talented. DeBonsa's so talented. I have a hard time not. Like Wilson. I don't know. There's so many drafts where Wilson would have been the number one pick, but he goes 3 in this one, in my opinion. And a lot of people probably have him 4 or 5. Just, I can't tell you how good that guy is going to be. He's just going to be a freaking beast. And you know what he's going to be. And that's what's exciting. You know he's going to succeed. Anyways, we got off track there a little bit. Elijah Harkless still can't shoot 3. It doesn't matter. But 5 assists and 5 rebounds is nice. And I love his defense. He just can't shoot. Can't shoot. It's too bad. John Conchar is fun and nice and good. 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He's another guy you want. I don't think Elijah Harkless is going to be on the team next year. It's too bad. It is what it is. But I think John Conchar will be. Remember Vince Williams too, by the way? That sucked. I wonder, have we gotten an update on Vince Williams? That sucks, man. I was really liking Vince Williams Jr. What a bummer. Oscar Tshiebwe, I don't know. I think Oscar Tshiebwe has shown a little bit. Like, he's actually shown a little more offensively lately. Like, he's got that little 10-foot push shot that he kind of knocks down every time. And he runs the floor in transition. He's shown a little bit, because when he was on Kentucky, and I watched a lot of Tshiebwe on Kentucky, and it used to drive me crazy. And the reason was that I was interested in Cason Wallace on the Jazz. I really liked Cason Wallace. Thanks, Tyrone, on Twitch. Because they'd run the offense through Tshiebwe on Kentucky instead of Cason Wallace. And John Calipari is a terrible coach. Incredible recruiter, terrible coach. But he did a lot of things. And so you're seeing him he has a little bit of a bag, right? A little bit. So who knows? Maybe as a 4th center, can you have one of those as a 2-way guy? Or I think he's solid as a 2-way guy, just for depth. Why not? In case of emergency, break glass, bring in a Tshiebwe, because he can rebound and he does a few things. Kennedy Chandler, I think there's a spot for him in the NBA. It may be for tanking teams, but he can put up numbers. I mean, 11 points, 8 assists. The guy knows how to play basketball. He's just a little undersized, and there are times where that size is very apparent. But he's not too bad. I appreciate him being on this team next year. I don't think he's going to be on the Jazz next year. Svi Mikhailuk came in. The Jazz were you could tell they were exhausted. He came in and promptly scored 14 points, 5 for 7 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3. Reminder that, if the Jazz are choosing between minutes for Bryce Sensabaugh or Svi Mikhailuk, probably giving those minutes to Svi. Right? Probably. But Sensabaugh will be nice depth on the Jazz. And then there's Bez and Bang, who +8 in this one alongside Svi Mikhailuk. I don't know if Bez is going to make the team. Who knows? Maybe he's doing things that the Jazz are seeing that they really like, but he is a good defensive presence. But I don't know. Tough stuff, though. Let's see. So just looking at Tankathon, it's We've got Utah is 54. Yeah, game 75 was tonight. So 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, and 82. They got 7 games left to make up 2 games on Sacramento. If they can even just tie with Sacramento and go to a coin toss, I'll take it. Or maybe they can just split the lottery balls, knock them down, move us up. Why do they have to be 4 and 5, right? New big board college matchup page. Let's see. What is this? Is Tennessee really in the Final Four? Where the Nate Ament haters at? Where the Nate Ament haters at? They're nowhere to be found. But anyways, can the Jazz pass up the Kings? I think it's possible. They made it very difficult when they won that game against the stupid Warriors. But Utah has the number 2 most difficult schedule remaining. Very much going to lose a lot of these games to end. They play Cleveland next. The Sacramento Kings have the 4th easiest schedule. They play only 2 above 500 teams in Toronto and the Clippers, and they play Brooklyn, the Pelicans. They play the Warriors twice, and the Portland Trailblazers, who are just cratering lately. It's bad. It's really not good. What also made me laugh was, let's see. Well, it didn't make me laugh. Oh, I forgot. Oh, look at this. Scoreboard. Wow, Tankathon keeps adding. Look at this. Scoreboard today. Let's see. Oh, that's what made me laugh. So look at this. It did make me smirk, I should say. But look at this. The Clippers, who give their pick to the Thunder, 0% chance of it winning the lottery. And they also own Utah's pick, which is almost as close to 0 as possible. It's so satisfying that the Oklahoma City Thunder, who tried to start all this stuff with the Jazz and the tanking and the fines, are not going to get a single lottery pick in this draft. It makes me so happy. So happy that bunch of losers is not going to get a single lottery pick. No pick for you. Too bad. Enjoy the 15th pick. Look at that. 1-4 in a row. The Clippers, the Thunder just got to eat that. They thought they were getting 2 lottery picks. They're getting 0. Yeah, it's going pretty well for Utah, guys, but I really like this scoreboard, playoff matchups. Look at this. Play in. Golden State is at 36. Let's see, where is Golden State at here? They are above Memphis, who's not even trying. Yeah, Golden State doesn't care if they lose. They've got a big time lead over these guys. They don't care if they lose. They're in the plan whether they want to or not. So that's why Steph's probably coming back. But look, there you go. So anyways, that's, I think, pretty much it for tonight. Let's start the music. I cannot handle the anxiety I'm going to feel come lottery night, guys. It's going to be too much. Let's see. So Grizzlies, Heat. You know what? Let's do this. Okay. We did a screenshot. Now, we're going to start it, and then we're going to watch the thing. So, if the lottery was today, let's start it. What would happen? That's the order. Okay, Grizzlies. Heat. Looking for the Blazers. Yes. Warriors. Yes. Bucks. Yes. Bulls. Yes. Hawks. Yes. No Jazz, no Jazz, no Jazz, no Jazz. Yeah. No Jazz, no Jazz, no Jazz. Ah! Well, at least we got the 6th pick. So who jumped? The Grizzlies jumped. The Kings jumped. Kings get the number 1 pick. Wow. Wow. And look at that. The Grizzlies jumped. Look at that. Well, good for them. Congrats to them. Utah keeps their pick. The number 6 pick gets Utah a choice of someone between Wagler, Ament, Michael Brown, Braden Burries. Lots of nice players to pick from. Winning players. Sucks they lost. Oh, well. All right. Well, let's give a shout out to the All-Stars tonight. Anything else to cover? He might be a hooper. Frickalicious. All right. Let's give a shout out to the All-Stars. Let's give a shout out to Just in Time, Justin Salas. See ya, Lexa later. Shake 'em and bake 'em, KSN. Ryan Perry, the legend, the name means king. Just Buckets, JB. Ball so hard, Ballstad. Jace is the ace, Garner. Steve Areno, Stusser. Let him cook sturdy pots. Ezekiel Raicibe, the man from down under. Tyson Price, the price is right. Jordan, the GOAT. Best roll. Christian House, money to Haas. Robert, Hall of Fame, Arcs Poetica. Austin R. Grant, editor extraordinaire. Jazz Forge, the OG. And Patrick Akubo, the connoisseur. Guys, like the video, subscribe to the channel.